My journey with the goddesses hasn't been that long, but it's been very transformative. And so I felt really called to share with you the lessons that Lilith and Venus have taught me. Hi, lovely witch. My name is Rosa. I'm the Divine Feminine Witch, and I help witches feel empowered through working with a goddess. And today I wanted to share with you the biggest lessons that Lilith and Venus have taught me throughout my journey with them. Before we get started, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for notifications so you never miss another video. Let's just jump right into it. I really don't know how long this video is going to be. I do have some notes that I'll be looking at, so I make sure not to get too off topic. But ever since I started working with each of these goddesses, they've really just been in my life, and I kind of just have been able to channel and embody their energy, and that has made such a huge difference in how I go about my everyday life. So Lilith has been with me longer, actually longer than I have known her to be around my life. If I look back at a bunch of incidents from my past, I can tell that Lilith was there guiding me pretty much. But I never really communed with her until I was in a relationship where I felt very stuck. And looking back at it now, the reason I felt so stuck was because I was still healing through a lot of things, and I kind of just jumped into something, and I didn't want to admit that I was wrong or that I made a mistake choosing somebody. It's okay to make mistakes, by the way. It happens. But anyways, the reason that I decided to communicate with Lilith first was because I was already practicing witchcraft, okay? I was exploring my spirituality and really trying to figure out what I even believed in. And I already knew that I was doing a lot of witchy things. And so I decided to look more into paganism and all of the deities that could help me in my life. And I remember telling my ex that I wanted to connect with either Venus or Lilith. And he told me, he encouraged me to reach out to Lilith. And I think it's really funny that the first thing she told me to do was to leave him. Lilith has taught me so much. One of the very first things she taught me to do was figure out my boundaries, define them, and make sure that they were known, that I needed to be clear on my boundaries. She taught me not to be afraid to say no. We, especially women, have been conditioned by a patriarchal society to think that we should be giving our time and our energy to other people. We should be kind, and kindness is not saying no to people. I was very conditioned into thinking that no was tied to something negative, but in fact, it was actually diminishing my power and saying no to myself when I say yes to others. And that was something that Lilith really taught me, that it was okay to say no and to set my boundaries. She's also taught me to take up space. Again, going back to how women have been conditioned to be a certain way, taking up space is not looked at as something ladylike, I guess. And it really restricts our power, our sovereignty, our freedom. It's important to take up space and not feel bad about it. And that is something that she has really ingrained in me, something that she has encouraged me to do shadow work around, and it really has helped. And another big thing tied to all of that, she taught me to be okay with changing my mind about people and things that no longer serve me. It's okay to cut cords with people that drain your energy, and it's okay to change your mind about things that you thought you once wanted or liked. I used to think that I wanted children. And I'm not saying that this is going to happen for everybody if you work with Lilith. This is just me. I realized, she helped me realize that it wasn't me who wanted children. It was the me that was with other people. Once I really found myself and figured out what I actually want and like, I felt it was okay to say, no, I don't want that for myself. Along those lines, she also taught me not to feel like I need to excuse my no's. Meaning, I don't need to give a reason to say no to something. If something doesn't align with me and I don't want to do it, or I don't want to take part, then I simply say no, or no thank you if I want to be a little bit nicer. But that doesn't mean that I owe an explanation for why I'm saying no to something. Now, with Lilith being so present in my life and me learning to embody that dark feminine energy that she brings, and the fact that I had two pretty long relationships that were quite traumatic, I was in a place where I really just wanted an excuse to punch a man in the face. You know what I mean? Like, I really, really hated men for a moment. And I'm still learning to decenter men without feeling the need to hate them. I'm literally just starting to talk to my male friends and not feel an urge to connect them to something that someone else did, if that makes sense. I'm definitely better at it now, but that's because I brought Venus into my life. I noticed a pattern within myself, physical and emotional and mental, whenever friends would talk about guys or just men in general were trying to approach me. I was not very nice, and I knew to a certain extent it was not a healthy thing. So I thought, oh, maybe I need like a love goddess in my life to show me how to be more gentle around men. And when I was thinking about this and reflecting on it, Venus popped up. And I remembered that I had already been interested in working with her in the past. And later that night, I remember having a very strong dream and with a lot of symbolism that correlated to Venus. And so I did tarot on it the next day. And it was in fact her trying to communicate with me. Venus in some ways does give me a bit similar energy to Lilith in the way that she taught me that I am not meant to be liked by everybody, and that is okay. That is something big that Venus has taught me. If I really voice who I am, as Lilith taught me, and I do it with grace, as Venus has taught me, then I am able to walk the earth without hating men, but also not centering my energy around the way I am perceived by men. Venus has also taught me that rest is productive. I knew before working with her that cycle syncing and living a life around the energy of my menstrual cycle could benefit me, but Venus really taught me how to be okay with needing rest and sometimes needing way more rest than other times. And when I am rested, I can be even more productive when I finally have the energy to do the things that I want to do. And I don't mean just productive in the sense of work and creating content, because that's something that I do a lot of. But I mean also be productive in how I have conversations with people, how I connect with other people, and how I can be productive with my finances and things like that. Venus rules over not just romance, but self-love, self-care, pleasure, enjoyment, having a healthy balance between rest and work, as well as feeling financially stable, while also being able to indulge in the luxuries that make us feel good. Within reason, of course. She never makes me think I need to do more or give more than I should. And that's a big lesson that she has taught me. She has really shown me that my pleasures are valid and necessary. It is necessary to really enjoy life in order to continue living, continue being a productive and creative and fun person, and be my authentic self by honoring the things that make me feel good and that make me actually enjoy life, if that makes sense. And along with all of that, she has shown me that prioritizing self-care and self-love helps me succeed. I can show up in the world and be the best version of myself when I am taking care of myself. And I am able to then attract attract the things that are meant for me, that are aligned with my energy, when my energy is healthy and feeling good. In a way, with all of that said, she has really taught me how to attract and not chase in all aspects of life. Okay, so I think that sums up everything I wanted to share in this video. If you're curious to know more about working with Lilith or Venus, I do have a video dedicated to both of them, so feel free to check those out. I'm also curious to know if you already work with either of these goddesses or both of them. I feel like I'm not the only one who works with both of these goddesses, and I think it's fascinating that a lot of us feel inclined to work with both of them. Or Aphrodite. Aphrodite is another Venusian goddess that seems to be in synchronicity with working with Lilith. But yeah, let me know if you resonate with this video, the things that I have learned. Let me know if you have learned similar things or what they have taught you. I would love to talk about it in the comments. I also share even more from both of these goddesses in my blog, so feel free to check that out. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video with somebody you think might resonate. And thanks for watching.